Hello, welcome back to meditation class. Um, it's day 14 of the Activate Challenge. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace. I am your meditation teacher tonight. I'm excited. So today is day 14. It's been 2 whole weeks of the meditation challenge. How crazy is that? So we're doing this challenge. It's called the Activate Challenge in case you missed it. And there's a whole playlist, so you can watch all of them if you want to start at the beginning, but feel free to hop in on this one or do them out of order. It doesn't matter. They do build upon each other, but if you want to do them out of order, that is totally okay. So for tonight's practice, we're going to be working on the third eye. So thus far, we have been kind of working on the energy centers, moving from the bottom up. So we've been focusing on those 7 main energy centers in the body. And I talk more in depth about that in the root meditation, going more in depth about the energy body. And I have podcast episodes about this too, if you guys, and there's a million bajillion books you can read. If you want to go more in depth. But so tonight we're going to be working on the third eye, which is located right in this area. So right in between the eyebrows, a little bit up. So this is connected to our inner vision, our intuition, and it can be very like literal in terms of, things like I do, like psychic readings, reading your tarot, doing astrology, like these divination things. We can think of it as a way to tap in. But it's so much more practical than that as well. It's not just to go to these ethereal realms and see things in our meditations. It's for us to feel connected with our inner sight. So that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight is the third eye. But what I mean by that is basically our ability to kind of tune into things and sense things before they happen. And it's not as a way to be fearful of, oh, I need to be in control always, because that I don't think is helpful. But it's being able to trust the insight and the inner knowings. So if you're like, maybe I want to do this thing, and you get a grand idea for it, being able to get the actions and the steps also given to you through your intuition so that you know how to actually get there. Like it's one thing to have this download, as we say, or this insight, this information from spirit, source, your higher self, whatever you subscribe to. But it's another to be able to, yeah, put that into action and actually see how you can use those intuitive insights for your everyday life, practical stuff. Just knowing how to make a better salad. It could be the most simplest thing. Knowing which kind of toothpaste you should get. It's just like it can be so boring and so simple, but it's really about that. It's really about the little mundane moments and realizing that magic is within every moment. So connecting with our third eye, yes, is cool, and we're working in the meditations on psychic sight and seeing things, be able to visualize and build up our inner landscape, and we can apply that and use that in so many different types of meditation. But like I said, it's about taking it off the mat, taking it out of the meditation class, and putting it into action in your life. That's my whole spiel. So tonight I'm gonna try not to talk your ear off, because that's what I do. I talk, talk, talk. The spirit always has me saying something. So I will tend to be long-winded if you've never done my meditations up until this challenge. You maybe didn't know that, but that's me. But I am going to be putting out some, um, again, more information about the energy bodies on my podcast. So I have one about the root up already, and it's on my podcast. There's a playlist on the page if you want to listen to that one, but it's the series is called Energy Body 101, and we're going to be talking very in depth about each of the energy centers and giving you guys some tools and connection things. So if you want to go more in depth about this stuff with me specifically, check out the podcast. And if you want to listen to me talk, I will talk forever. But tonight we're going to be experienced. Tonight we're going to be experiencing together. So for our meditation tonight, it's going to be a little bit, I'm trying to aim to make this one a little bit shorter, 15, 20 minutes, because the third eye is a big activating energy. So it's something that we want to kind of practice in small doses to build up upon strength. So I want us to kind of just experience it in a shorter burst, and then we can go back and reconnect. And then tomorrow we'll be working on the crown, and we'll be talking also about kind of the aura and the energy body as a whole. So for tonight, this is going to be a visualization practice. So I'm going to be describing some images and some sensations also to you. So physical stuff for you to imagine, sense, feel, know, experience, however you will in your individual meditation practice. If you've missed the other classes, I spiel about this every single time, but everyone's going to experience it differently. So if you get distracted, that's okay. If you fall asleep, that's okay. Everything's okay. This is why it's a practice. We can go back to it. We can try again. We can learn more. We can dive in. We can do anything we want. So no pressure. So for this practice, you can either be like me, I'm seated in a chair, my spine is up as straight as I can comfortably get. Shoulders, back, down, rest them, wriggle them out, get comfy. My feet are flat on the ground, so you can be like that. Or if you want to sit on the ground with your back against the wall in a cross-legged position. Alternatively, if you'd like, you can lie down, but I prefer that we stay up. If you can, and if you can't get comfortable that way, it's okay. Lie down. It's fine. Or sit in a couch, whatever. Just have your feet on the ground. Okay. So for this practice, we're going to be describing some images, as I mentioned. So first, we're just going to kind of settle into the body. So like I said, just rolling the shoulders back, circling, and then circling your shoulders to the front, closing your eyes, resting your shoulders. Gonna have us take 5 slow, deep breaths. So just relaxing, tuning in. We're here. We are here for meditation class, just for a few minutes. Let me see how I can feel more relaxed. Let me experience and be open to whatever wants to happen. So relaxing with those breaths, breathing in through the nose, exhale deeply, release audibly out the mouth at your own pace. 5 breaths, breathing in, exhale. Finishing up your last few breaths. And if you haven't already, taking that final breath, breathing in, exhale, let it all go. Just going to have us gently move your head side to side, up and down, just kind of wiggling and wriggling in the neck. And then I want us to bring our focus, our attention right into that third eye area. So I invite you to take and if you want to open your eyes, and I'll show you what I'm doing, but you don't necessarily need to. But I want you to take your 3 fingers, so your pointer, your middle, and your ring finger, and I want you to just place those gently on your forehead. So The first finger, the ring finger, is going to be at the top of your nose, right in between your eyebrows. The second one's going to lay on top of that, and then the pointer right on the third eye area. So your three fingers are going to be covering that third eye. Okay. So if you can, and if you'd like, you can, like how I am, I'm kind of hunched over. Don't roll your shoulders too far, but you could rest your elbow somewhere. And if you can't, that's okay. Just keeping your hand as comfortably as you can. We're just going to be here a few moments, then you can rest your hand. But I just want us to feel physically with our fingers this area of the body. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. And resting your hands. As some of you guys know, I am an esthetician also, so I do skincare. So I touch a lot of people's faces, but it's more common than not that people don't touch anyone's face besides their own, or maybe their kid, or a romantic relationship, your husband or whatever. Um, and it's powerful to just remember that this is connected to the rest of your body. So, this area in reflexology, which is something I study, is connected to your physical heart. So, I think it's kind of interesting the connection between what we mentioned in the heart meditation about being connected to the emotional body. I think it's kind of interesting the connection between, yeah, the third eye, our intuition, and our heart space, our emotional body. So, when our heart is open and flowing, and we're able to receive love, send love, feel compassion, all these beautiful things that we talked about, when we're able to drop into that, it's so much easier to drop into the intuition, the psychic sight. And then it's coming from a place of pure love, which is what we want. So we don't want to be scared or frightened about, oh, if I tune into this, I'm tuning into dark shit and there's demons and all of that. I don't want us to be scared. But it is very true that there are different levels of psychic connection. So we want to be kind of tuned into that top level of God, source, universe, like your true divine self, rather than kind of a frantic or stressful type of energy. So when we're heart open, we're able to connect through the third eye in, yeah, that we call it the higher astral, but there's so many different words for that. And I don't want to complicate things or make things confusing or scary. And there's nothing you need to worry about. And I only say those things because I have had all those fears before, so I know someone does. I know someone does. So yeah, that's just a little like connection point, and then we're gonna start into the visualization. So before we go into that, I just want us to kind of rest the face and the eyeballs. So I want us to place, you're going to have your palms, this bottom part of your palm where there's kind of that ball area, right, extended at the bottom of your thumb, that little ball area. I want you to place that directly on your eye, like socket. So deep into the brow bone, literally on your lid, placing it like boop on both sides. And I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but you can feel and experience it in your own body. So as you do that, you're Fingertips, the top of your hands can just kind of roll over and rest on your scalp. So this is like a resting, really rejuvenating pose. And I just want us to close our eyes here, obviously, but just rest here for 5 breaths. And then when you have finished the 5 breaths, you can rest your hands wherever is most comfortable. And we're going to begin the visualization. So breathing in. You're not applying pressure, just gently placing your hand in that area. If you haven't already, taking your final breaths, bringing your breath back to its normal pattern, resting your hands wherever is most comfortable. And again, I'm just going to begin to describe some images and sensations, and just do your best to experience however is easiest for you. So in your mind's eye, we're going to begin envisioning the color purple, which is connected to the third eye and connected to our intuition. So connecting and envisioning that color purple. Perhaps a deep, like a royal velvet purple, or maybe it's lavender, creamy, milky purple. What is the color that you see in your mind's eye? And for some of you, it may be more difficult to see it. So we're just imagining. What are the associations you have with purple? What can you think of in your mind? Literal lavender flowers. For me, there's this one specific gouache paint, this one specific shade of purple that is my favorite color. And that's what I think of. So maybe it's a candy wrapper. What can you really imagine? And if you were to think in your mind about the color purple, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe you think of the book or the movie, The Color Purple. There's so many things. Maybe you think of Prince, the singer. There's so many very big associations with purple. Purple's royal, ethereal, luscious. What is the adjective you would to describe purple? And maybe you have an aversion. Maybe you don't even like purple. Ugh, purple. That's information for us as well. Certain colors will feel good and certain colors will feel not so good. And that gives us information about what's going on with us right now. I'm gonna begin describing some sensations. So, what does it feel like in your body if you were looking through your eyes out at the sunrise? What does it feel like? Can you place yourself in that sensation? The warm sun on your skin, the beautiful colors and the sky. Maybe you can hear the sounds of the morning, garbage trucks and birds singing. What would it feel like to imagine to see through your eyes snow falling and a field of beautiful white sparkling snow? Imagining what that would look like. Imagining right in that area in your mind's eye, the third eye, right in between your eyebrows. Imagining there was just a tiny little photograph right in there. Capturing that moment. When you think about a memory, where does the memory live in your mind? Like for those of you who can see when they think of a memory in their mind, or even a book that you're reading, visually seeing it in your mind as you're reading the words on the page, where are you seeing this? Are you seeing it in the third eye? Are you seeing it behind your eyes? Are you seeing it in the back of your head? Are you seeing it in your heart? Where are you seeing it? Is it in front of your vision? If you were to describe that sensation to a 3-year-old, where are you seeing it? How can you explain this? We're going to try to tap into a few little memory moments. We're going to go more deep into this idea throughout the challenge, going deeper, further back. But tonight we're just going to do a few little snapshots. So do your best to keep up with the pace. Don't feel like you're missing anything if you can't. This is just about capturing tiny little moments. Don't think too hard. Just the first thing that comes up and release it. This is kind of like an association kind of thing. So, thinking back and seeing if you can imagine this memory in your mind. Picture it. Where is it in your mind? Imagining, what did you eat for breakfast? Imagine yourself in your kitchen or maybe at the store or the coffee shop, wherever you had your breakfast. Imagine yourself in that place. What do your feet look like standing on the ground? Were you wearing shoes, socks, barefoot, slippers? What did your feet look like as you were preparing your breakfast, getting your breakfast, having your breakfast this morning? And if you're doing this in the morning, think about yesterday. And now moving back to yesterday, what were you wearing yesterday? Picture in your mind's eye, in your memory, pulling up, what did I wear yesterday? What was my outfit? What was I wearing? Starting at the feet, shoes, socks, what was I wearing? Pants, skirt, dress, jeans, what was I wearing? And this isn't about testing yourself. Oh, I knew exactly every little accessory. Like, just generally, like, briefly think, what was I wearing yesterday? What color was it? Can I remember the color? I'm just thinking back a little bit further. Thinking back to last month. If you're doing this in real time, that was November. But thinking about the last month, what is the first thing that pops into your mind that happened? What did you experience last month? What was the thing that stands out the most? Maybe it will surprise you. Maybe it felt insignificant at the time, but it stands out to you now. What is the first thing that pops in when you think about what happened last month? Now, tuning back into the third eye. You're just going to relax the energy around this place. Relaxing your eyebrows, relaxing your forehead, your scalp, your cheekbones, your jaw, your nose, your nostrils, your teeth, your lips, your tongue, your chin, relaxing the jaw again, releasing, maybe stretching out and giving me a big smile. Stretch out the mouth. Imagine you're screaming or silent screaming. Release. Resting and relaxing the throat, the back of the neck, and sending this energy down the spine, all the way down. I just invite everyone to take a few deep breaths, circling your hips from one direction and in the other direction. Bringing yourself back to center. Whenever you're ready, again, another deep breath. You can slowly open your eyes. Calling all your energy back to you, calling all my energy back to me, any energy we moved or shifted in this meditation. Again, I always ask to be released into the light or very deep into the earth to be recycled and renewed into usable energy. So be it, so it is. So be it, so it is. Calling Again, all your energy back into your body. Any portals, vortexes, or spaces in between that were open during this work for them to be now closed now, immediately now. Allowing the energy of this meditation to stay enclosed in this recording so that anyone who watches this later now, or many weeks from now, and years from now, whenever they see this video, that they're able to access the healing if they so decide they want to. So be it, so it is. So whenever you're ready, if you haven't already, you can open your eyes. So that whole thing I say at the end, that's kind of my whole spiel thing that I do to kind of close out my readings, to close out my healing sessions. So if you've done work with me, you probably heard me say something similar to that. Sometimes I just say it in my mind. But I like to say it out loud because I feel two things. One, it's very powerful to say things out loud, as we talked about yesterday, as we mentioned with the affirmation stuff. Oh, also, oh my gosh, guys, such a fun little synchronicity moment. So yesterday we talked about affirmations and we talked about how I've been using the I am divine affirmation and how that's been a little uncomfortable for me, and that's why I'm using it, and I'm really trying to connect with that divinity within. And then today I was in the shower getting ready. I did a sound bath earlier today, so that was really fun. But I was getting ready for this event, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a body scrub." Like, one, I like to look good, but two, I always do a salt scrub or like a body scrub when I am really trying to focus on clearing and preparing my energy. Salt bath or salt scrub, something I always recommend to people. Unless you have like a autoimmune stuff, be mindful about Epsom salts. Um, just a side note. But okay, so now I got distracted. Okay, so the salt the salt scrub. So I was like, let me do a salt scrub. So I had this salt scrub that I got from my boss because I work at a spa doing facials, and we get all sorts of products given to us. And so sometimes she'll give them to us either to try out or because, we're getting rid of it or whatever. Like, does anyone want this? So I took these scrubs from her and I hadn't used them yet. And I just decided to randomly pull this one out today. And I for some reason, thought it said Lawless. Like, I thought that was the name of the scrub, like the brand or something. But when I looked at it today, I was like, what does this say? And it's really shimmery, pretty, like iridescent packaging. So it's kind of hard to read. And I looked at it closer and it says, I am divine. That's the name of the fucking body scrub. And so I was like, I love that. That's such a fun little synchronicity. Um, so I had to share that with you just now. But anyway, so the power of words. So the reason I say those things out loud is because it's very powerful to say them out loud. You can say them in your mind, and God's source, spirit, your inner self, like they can hear you. Um, you don't have to say it out loud, but I think it is very powerful. And again, with the throat chakra healing stuff, I think it's very important for us to say things out loud if that's a difficult thing for you to do. If you can't say it out loud to yourself, how are you going to say it out loud to other people? So yeah. Anyway, that's one of the reasons. And the second reason I do it is because, I get a lot of people who are also opening up their intuitive gifts. That's why I do this whole challenge, blah, blah, blah. So I want you guys to see it's my guides and my mentor and everything. We call it putting on display. So sometimes I'll do something, whether that's with my energy, just subtly, like you guys don't even know I'm doing it, and I'm sending you some healing weird frequency thing. Um, or I say things out loud or demonstrate how I do something. And I do that with my clients too, because it shows them how to do it. It shows them how to do it. And I think people learn, at least for me and a lot of my clients and a lot of people in general, learn from experience. So if you see and hear something, you're like, oh, I see how they put it into practice. So closing prayers are important. Prayers, affirmations, words, whatever you want to call them, closing statements are important because we don't want to just be open energetically all the time, especially when we're opening up our third eye and these more vision stuff. that is an expanded state. So we want to close ourselves back down, be grounded in reality. We are human. So we have to, like, open the door sometimes. It can't just always be open. And eventually you get to a point where it's not hard to differentiate. But when we're first starting, I think it's very vital, very important to close the door. You guys, the whole Ouija board thing, you say goodbye, you close the portal. Same kind of thing. You can do that with their cards, just like, okay, thank you for the assistance. Like, and I do that too. So I do that too. So what I would say is basically like giving thanks to all the spirits, angels, guides, ancestors, loved ones that came forward to assist with this practice here tonight. Calling, sending you back to your correct dimension in time. Thank you for your help. I say something like that, especially because I do mediumship, so I will connect with like literal, human spirits or whatever, all sorts of spirits. But if they're not my people, like they're coming in for the reading, like they don't need to hang out with me. They can go back. They can go back to wherever they are hanging out. So it's just a reminder. And also when we open up these energies, like things are attracted to that and they're like, ooh, that's juicy and beautiful. And like it's just like, the bar's not always open. The bar closes at 2. So people, if the bar was open all the time, some people would hang out there all the time. You get the kind of vibe, the idea. You don't want the people who would hang out there all the time to be hanging out. They need to go home too, and they need to rest. So send them on their way. That's my spiel. Thank you for joining me. Activate day 14, 2 weeks of meditation. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm proud of me. Thank you for showing up for yourself for another practice. Tomorrow we will be back for the crown and talking about the aura and stuff. And then we're going to get into, as I mentioned, some inner child healing, some journey meditation, shamanic stuff, Akashic records, and then, we're going to be doing like a manifesting intention setting for the new year, either on the 30th or 31st. I haven't decided yet. And we're probably going to do something special for Christmas. I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but it is beautiful to think about some of the themes connected to that of giving and receiving. So that's kind of the framework that I'm going to talk about it within. We're not going to be talking about Jesus, even though I do love my boy Jesus, but we're going to be talking about it more from the perspective of, what is it like to give? What is it like to receive? And what is it like to heal some of those wounds around lack and not having enough and feeling like you have to consume something in order to feel like you have enough. So capitalism strikes again. We're all healing, babe. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next meditation. And for those who listen to podcasts, the episode just came out, the newest episode. So if you want to check that out, you can, with Mel Beam. They're an astrologer and an herbalist, and we talk about all sorts of fucking badass shit. The episode's up now. I'm going to put the video up tomorrow on YouTube. So if you guys want to watch the video version and all that, check it out. But otherwise, everything's linked on here. So you can, if you're confused, comment. And let me know how your experiences have been. I'd love to hear about them. If you want to comment, if you want to email me, if you want to DM me on Instagram, you can find me. And I love feedback and I love to hear about your experiences. So thank you. And I will see you later. And not everyone knows this, but if you guys ever want to do a one-on-one session with me, there is always a coupon code in the show notes of the podcasts. If you've never done a reading or anything with me before, you get a discount if you're a podcast listener. So I just throw that out there because I don't think people know it's there and I should talk about it more. So anyway, bye. See ya.